What is up, guys, and welcome back to a brand new video. Actually, this isn't just any old video. This is the season finale of Season 3 of the My Team Journey. And if you haven't been keeping up with this series, basically, we are level on points with the championship leader for the 20th season in a row, heading into the final race. It is all to play for. Oh wait, no, it's not. I've already won. Sorry. Well, that's video done. You don't even need to watch it. You can click off now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next season finale. Right, now they're all gone. Welcome back to a brand new video, guys. Yes, I wasn't lying. We have the championship in our hands already. Max Verstappen absolutely bottled this entire season. Well, the second half of this season. Ever since we got the best car, he has been absolutely nowhere. His form has been in the mud, basically. I've not seen a championship bottle like this ever. Or, well, it's really been down to us, to be honest. We've managed to turn around a 100-point deficit to winning the championship with a race to go. That was mental. The greatest comeback I've ever had in a career mode season, and probably the best we'll ever have in however many seasons I do these F1 Game career modes for. I think we're probably approaching 50 seasons of career mode now. And yeah, we're not going to see a turnaround that good for the next 50 seasons to come either. So yeah, this really has been a special season. But here we go for the final race of Season 3. Now, for this one, because there's absolutely nothing at stake, I thought I'd do something a little bit different for this race. And, well, oh yeah, that kind of shows the story right there. No, we're not going to bin ourselves off. We are turning up the difficulty to the maximum, 110 AI. But for those who don't know, 110 AI is literally impossible in Season 3. The AI are unnaturally 6/10 or so faster than what they should be compared to the start of the game. So literally even F1 esports drivers can't beat these guys at this difficulty. So we're going to give it a go and see how close we can get. But yeah, this is literally the impossible challenge. I think it will be I even think it'll be quite the achievement to even get points with this setting. Let's go. Alright, so here we go for qualifying for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. I'm fully expecting to be about 3, maybe 4 seconds off the pace. Yeah. Unless you've got into Season 3 and you're running at a high difficulty level, you just won't know this. There's still going to be a lot of comments to say, oh, you should be running 110 the whole time. But 110 is literally unbeatable. So you'll see exactly how unbeatable they are. So I'm pretty fast. I'd probably say I'm like half a second to around a second slower than the esports guys. And, well, you're just going to see how much slower we are compared to these absolute aliens. 32.4 is our banker time. That's actually not a great lap, to be honest. I could definitely get into the 31s. So, loop around. Tire temps as well. When you get to a fully upgraded car, the tires don't cope well with the loads that you can put through them. And I think it all stems from, oh my god, 3.8 seconds off the pace. It all stems to upgrades. I think maybe the AI are getting more benefit out of the upgrades than what the player is. There's certainly, the AI are not driving to the same handling model or whatever. It's not the same settings that we're running. The things that they're capable of, we just can't do. Like, they drive flat out through, like Puon, for example. There's so many high-speed corners. They drive absolutely flat through, which is not possible for the player. Second last corner at Austria, for example, that's flat for the AI. Anyway, this is Q2, I believe. I believe this is Q2. We put in a banker time, which was not great. This second lap here is a lot more representative. We're 9/10 up on our previous best. A little bit of a wobble under the hotel, but otherwise a pretty good lap. Up to the line here through the last corner. This has been a very good lap. Try and pick out anywhere where I've lost over 2.5 seconds, you can't find it because that was a really good lap. That's pretty much the maximum of what this car can do. We're in the low 31s there. At a push, at a perfect lap, we're looking at like a 31.0 or maybe even 30.9. That is the absolute limit, probably, of what this car can do, at least in those conditions at the end of Q1. So the track is going to grip up a little bit in Q2, so we'll give it another go. But the lap itself just wasn't even comparable to the AI on 110. 2.7 seconds off the pace, and that's in the best car. So I hope that illustrates just how silly the AI are in Season 3, particularly the end of Season 3, when all the cars are maxed out. We can't even get into Q3. So I hope that answers your questions. But that's qualifying done with. We're going to head into the race now, where it's going to be absolute struggle street. It's going to be fun, though, to try and fend off people who are much faster than us. It'll be quite the spectacle to see us fight our way into the 10.
Tough luck there. It's not quite where we'd want to be on the grid, but chin up, it's not the end of the world.
Welcome to the Marina circuit for the finale of another thrilling Formula One season. It's been a breathtaking year, and we end it at a track that's been the scene of many glories and heartbreaks over its history. It's time to end the season in style. It's time for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. Young superstar Max Verstappen starts from pole position, with Charles Leclerc alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, Valtteri Bottas, and Gasly, Hamilton, Norris, Ricciardo, and Esteban Ocon. Tsunoda, Senna, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Sebastian Vettel and Stroll, Benjamin, Tigtum, George Russell, and Nicholas Latifi, they've taken a grid penalty. Armstrong, Giovinazzi, Mick Schumacher, and Nikita Mazepin.
Okay, we've already won the championship, so relax and enjoy this race.
There's going to be absolutely no time for relaxation in this last race, but we're going to give it our best shot anyway for what is a science experiment now. Welcome, guys, to the grid of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. My teammate Ed Senna having a grid penalty himself. I think he qualified on the second row of the grid, and now he's pretty much back here with me. So we'll see what this car is capable of in AI hands, but 5 red lights, and we are underway for the final time in Season 3. Let's go out with a bang, shall we? Absolutely nothing to lose today, so you might see some fireworks in this exhibition to beat the very best. So let's see what we can do. P15 at the moment, make that P16. We lost a spot to Armstrong in the AlphaTauri. We might be able to get him back into the first chicane. We've underfueled the car as well because the car is so good at fuel consumption. We're going to recover most of that, if not probably all of that, and then some by the end of the race. So nice and light car means we are faster at the start. The AI do tend to overfuel their cars, so that is, I guess, one small advantage we'll be able to claim back in this race. We get up the inside of Lance Stroll into Sector 3, and that puts us up into P14 now. Here's the replay of the move. We can actually lunge the AI from quite a ways back, and that's down to our ultimate brake upgrade, so those coming in quite handy for us. Depleted all of our ERS at the end of lap 1, trying to run with the AI. Perez is into the pit lane for what I imagine is front wing damage, but at least looking on the replay here, there's no damage to tell. So yeah, interesting strat there from Red Bull and Sergio Perez. The AI's strategies have been quite ridiculous as of late. So yeah, that's as well as it definitely helped us in our quest to recover the championship. And yeah, certainly something that needs to be looked at for next game. I'd love to be able to control my teammates' race strategy, for example. Yeah, I just need to utilize more aggressive strategies and pin on the safety car and all sorts, because it is quite easy to outsmart them. And that's what we're going to have to utilize today to get a decent result. Like I said, top 10 is probably the minimum of what I want to get out of this race. There might be some failures, there might be mistakes from the AI, there might be all sorts of strategy blunders, which can get us into the game. But anything beyond like the top 7, I think is going to be pretty tricky. Yellow flag up here in the last corner. It's Max Verstappen, our championship rival. His terrible run this season continues. The pressure is absolutely lifted for the championship, so this is, again, another uncharacteristic error from the Red Bull driver, and I think he's damaged his front wing, so that's going to be an early pit stop for Max Verstappen. Puts us one step closer to the points, edging our personal best closer towards what the AI can do, but still, we can't really hold the candle to their pace at this stage. Gasly's into the pit lane at the end of lap 5. And it looks like it might be a 2-stop strategy. At least that was being suggested by Jeff. Oh, it's Lando Norris gone round this time. The AI having an absolute mare today. First Verstappen, and now a lap later, it's Lando Norris. No safety car deployed for either spin. But Lando has lost so much time because so many people were on the racing line. He didn't want to rejoin dangerously, so he's gone literally back down to last. Actually, now he's gone down to last with Verstappen overtaking him. But yeah, that's a large yikes for Lando Norris. Maybe having the difficulty super high encourages, or I don't know, forces more mistakes from the AI because they're pushing it at a much higher level. I don't really know. Ayrton Senna's in for his pit stop onto medium compound tyres, and I hope for his sake he goes to the end of the Grand Prix. We certainly have the tyre wear numbers to do so, but I don't imagine that is going to be the case. I think it's going to be a 2-stop for Ayrton. Oh! Right rear overheating. So we might want to get off these tyres and get onto the mediums to operate in a proper working window for the tyres. Because at the moment we are losing a little bit of pace at this point of the circuit. It is Sector 1, the start of Sector 2. The rear's not happy there, but then at the hairpin here, sometimes the front tyres can overheat as well, and look at that sliding. It's absolutely ridiculous. 109 degrees for the right rear tyre. 110 degrees. We can't compete with that. We absolutely can't compete with that. We're very lucky that the AI are 2-stopping today, so at least we'll be able to defend our position. We'll be half a chance of getting some points, but we're going to have to drive super well to be in the game here for a competitive result. Anyway, into the pit lane we go. Softs were rubbish, so we're going to go onto the mediums now and hopefully see out the race on these.
On track, resulting in loose debris. Fortunately, the marshals have managed to clear it up in time, and there are no plans for a safety car right now.
Okay, someone else has had a spin. That's a wonderful pit stop there. 1.8 seconds for the boys at Marduk Motorsport. Good way to end the season there, and they put me in the best position they possibly can to get some good points here. So as we rejoin on the circuit, it is P12. With Verstappen right in front of us on the track. So this is going to be a nice little ding-dong here for the rest of the Grand Prix. Around the outside into the first chicane. And Verstappen leaves all the space in the world. Thank you very much, mate. He does need to stop again, though. So we might be half a chance of beating him, but he's going to have massively faster tyres, much faster pace towards the end of the Grand Prix. Let's hopefully get back in front of him, hold him up for as long as possible to give us the best fighting chance. But yeah, it was pretty academic, really. He yeeted away from us, and that was GG, really. So now we just focus on running a consistent pace. The AI are constantly in the pit lane. A lot of people on different strategies. People opting to use the medium at different points in the race. There's my teammate Ayrton Senna at the start of the straight. And he'll be a decent chance of overtaking me as well. So all the battling here is going to happen at the end of the Grand Prix. We're going to have to defend like crazy to defend whatever position we can muster ourselves into. But it's important that we treat the tyres well and keep up a consistent pace, because this is the position we're defending now. Sonoda into the pit lane. I think we might be on for a top 5. Well, we have to defend the top 5. Whether we can actually stay in the top 5 remains to be seen. There goes the Ferrari of Carlos Sainz. Pretty hard to defend against that when the straights are so long here. We'll get DRS on the next straight, but might be a wise decision to actually stay behind him with DRS. I don't think I'm going to stay behind him here. I think I'm shaping for a move up the inside into Sector 3. We're opting for warfare here.
Nice move. Good
So we're opting to just keep him behind. And if we can create a DRS train, then that makes it harder, much harder for people behind to overtake us. So we'll see how we go. We've got Norris catching up now. He's in the DRS range. Verstappen is in for his final stop onto medium compound tyres. And he's going to be absolutely uncompromised to the end of the Grand Prix. So
Armstrong ahead. Gap to car in front is 8.6 seconds. They're on fresh mediums. Their tyres are 5 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. The time last lap was a 1:33.5. We're slower by 9/10 a lap.
wow. Armstrong in a much slower car, 9/10 a lap faster than us. That is absolutely ridiculous. It's going to be very difficult to hold on to any track position in this race. It is a quite easy track to overtake on, so we'll have to really get the elbows out here like we did with Carlos Sainz. That edges Lando Norris up another position to 8th. But yeah, look at that. There's just nothing we can do. We're fully yeeting the ERS and overtake, but it's not enough. It's a shame that there's no engine fuel modes, engine mixers anymore in the F1 games, because that sometimes can be a really good tactic to help defend sometimes with the AI when they're saving fuel. And yeah, I think having extra engine modes actually aids in overtaking. When we've got less things at our disposal to use, it's actually harder to overtake, which is again why I don't really understand why they got rid of it in F1. But there we go. Williams retiring from the Grand Prix. That's Dan Ticktum. So a lot of people stretching engines, components to get towards the end of this calendar. And, well, we've seen a couple of stragglers in this race so far. That's now P6 for us as Ricciardo absolutely eases by us on lap 19. So 7 laps to go, and we're looking at P6. But there's an angry pack of cars quickly approaching. We've got Senna and Perez, and then a few seconds back behind them, we've got the likes of Max Verstappen and then the Aston Martin. So it's going to be quite tricky. Are we going to go for a move on Ricciardo? Yes, we are. We're throwing caution to the wind here. We don't care about finishing the race in the quickest race time. We just want the maximum points we can get out of this race for some reason. So here we go. We've now got Ayrton Senna, our teammate, right behind us. Remember a few laps ago, that was like 10, 15 seconds separating us. I was at the end of the straight and he was at the start of the straight, and now he's ahead of us. That is the pace difference between us and the rest. Fresh tyres obviously helping for these guys, but yeah, it is so hard to run with these guys. We're doing our best. We're going to not fight Senna. We're going to try and run with him if we can. That didn't last long, as he's already broken outside of 1 second. So once again, I'm going to have to make up my own pace. Yellow flag potentially a little bit early. I'm not too sure what was going on there, but we've got Daniel Ricciardo right behind us, potentially our teammate for next season. So might be a good idea not to piss him off and not defend too hard. But here we go. Round the outside for Ricciardo at the first chicane. Doesn't amount to anything, and actually sets him back a little bit. It's still going to be an easy pass for him though. Even though he's a good few tenths behind at the start of that straight, there's nothing we can do to defend that. The only thing we can do is thankfully re-overtake with DRS on the next straight. So let's see if we can set it up. I don't exit that last corner very well. I'm not good at getting through that chicane. I need to find a better way of getting out of there. So it'll set me up better for overtakes as we go round the outside of Daniel Ricciardo at the triple chicane. Thank you very much. We're back in the top 5. So someone's actually boxed in the last few laps. So we're still defending a top 5, but we're really having to pull out all the stops to get the job done, as that was a beautiful move on Daniel Ricciardo. Don't exactly have the grip on him, but we got better brakes, I'd imagine, than the McLaren, and we fully utilized that with a beautiful move. So 6 laps to go, and you can see the train is absolutely forming now. There's a good 4 or 5 at least cars part of this train. We've just got to stick with Ricciardo and just battle as much as we can and turn defense into offense, I guess, and just hope that those guys behind us start squabbling as well if the pace is just not there. So We're going to utilize everything we can to try and hold on to this top 5 that we've got at the moment. This is Sergio Perez now going round the outside on much fresher medium compound tyres than us. The Red Bull, I think, doesn't have as good straight line speed as what the McLaren does. So if there's anyone that we're going to have a better chance of battling and staying ahead of or defending against, that's going to be the Red Bull. So here we go, round the outside again. Carbon copy of last lap. Not as desperate round the outside this time. Much more measured. And the job was still done. Oh, breathe for just a momentary period. We can breathe through Sector 3. The AI are very fast there, but it's not an overtaking zone of the circuit. All the overtaking is happening in the middle sector, right here with the DRS being enabled. We're doing a solid job for Ayrton Senna. We're absolutely guaranteeing he doesn't finish any worse than P4 in this race. Again, we're going to go for a move on Ricciardo up the inside this time. Or down the inside, as you guys like to say. Bit of contact there at the midpoint of the chicane. And that is job done. Ricciardo having an absolute mare after getting past me. Didn't hit an apex to save his life, so we're back up into P5. 3 laps to go now in this race. And I'm starting to believe that this might be possible. These guys are like a second a lap faster than me, maybe more. But we are managing to stay ahead with supreme straight line speed and braking prowess. That's the only reason we're holding on to these positions at the moment. That plus the other guys behind us really starting to squabble, which is keeping me in the fight. But this is getting quite bad now. This might be 3 wide as we head down into the chicane between the straights. There goes the Alpine up the inside of both of us. I'm going to go round the outside of, whoa, the Alpine as well. We're back into P5. This is a battle for the ages here in Abu Dhabi. As we don't have DRS again on this back straight, we're going to have to lunge into Sector 3, but we don't do so. We don't have the confidence to get back past Gasly. So we've lost P5 in this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. P6 is the maximum we can get in this Grand Prix now. I guess it had to happen sooner rather than later. There was only we could only defend this position for so long, and our tyres are now starting to approach the cliff. There goes Ricciardo now as well. Penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, and these tyres are barely hanging on to get to the end compared to these guys through this next right hand. And we touch the curb, and we spun. Verstappen's clattered into the side of us. We're out of the Grand Prix. For the best part, we are out of the Grand Prix. We have collided with our championship rival on the penultimate lap of this Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Touch the curb, which is so easy to do, especially with the tyres being as worn as what they are. Verstappen has lost his wing, and it looks like he might be slowing as well. But that is not the way we wanted to end the championship. Verstappen is out of the Grand Prix. George Russell is out of the Grand Prix as well. Somehow we're still standing, but pretty much we are out of this race. We've got no front wing, and we're probably going to get overtaken for the final points-paying position with Lance Stroll only 4 seconds back. We're going to call ourselves into the pit lane. But to be honest, if we do that, we're just throwing away the only point we have. Our best chance, our best chance of getting a point now is just staying out, just defending with no front wing. We might as well. Even if we pit now, we're not going to get fastest lap. We might as well stay out for the memes, stay out for the content, no front wing. We also haven't recovered as much fuel as I thought we would. So the end of this race hasn't been as good as what I planned. Lando Norris is into the pit lane, so that might actually give us the final points paying position once again. But no, Carlos Sainz has re-overtaken us, and we're back down to P12. Right, there we oh, here we go. This is just going to be absolute pain. Here goes Lewis Hamilton with his 20 focus in this season. I'm actually surprised Lewis Hamilton hasn't retired from the sport or announced his retirement at the end of this season. He's had a shocking season in that Mercedes. As we have a little bit of an excursion, running wide onto the AstroTurf, getting a bit of airtime on this last lap. But yeah, there we go. Charles Leclerc wins the Grand Prix. Ferrari have been threatening this for a while. They've been building a really good car, and they claim the final race of the season. Lando Norris re-overtakes us on his fresh, soft compound tyres. Vettel is only a few seconds back in P15. So I think it's going to be P15 in this race. We can't brake because the The lack of downforce is just inducing front lockups. But yeah, we had... I say we had to go for it. I was pushing quite hard, and that's just what happens. We touched the curb. We're trying to search for that extra pace to try and keep Verstappen and company behind. It's an easy mistake to make, and we paid the ultimate price, pretty much. There goes Sebastian Vettel. I think it is going to be P15. Nicholas Latifi is 12 seconds back now. I don't imagine we're going to lose 12 seconds in about 3 corners, though I have seen stranger things in Formula 1. This has been a strange season. The strangest season probably in my career mode lifetime so far. And just to add to the strangeness, let's do some burnouts. We're already out of the points. We've won the championship with a race to go. Let's end this season, I suppose, with a little bit of happiness. We are the champions of Season 3. We win the drivers' standings. Constructors, though, we are coming for you in Season 4. Marduk Motorsport. Watch this space. We end the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix as champions.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
Thanks for playing, guys. 110 AI, you are unbelievable.
It's been a roller coaster season then, but they can go into the winter with their heads held high after an emphatic victory here today. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Here come our winners now. A thrilling race and a tremendous effort by Ferrari. Their history is well known, so it's no surprise to fans the world over to see them come out on top once again.
So there we go, guys. That is the end of Season 3. Not the end to the season that we wanted, but I kind of knew what I was getting myself into when I attempted this challenge. GG's to Ferrari, to Charles Leclerc. They've been threatening all season. They've been very, very competitive, and finally they get their just desserts. I don't know how many wins they've had this season, but I'd imagine it's not been many. The majority of the wins this season have been shared mainly between myself and Verstappen. First half of the season was all Verstappen. Second half of the season was all me. We got nearly close to, I think we might have 10 wins this season, which is absolutely crazy. But yeah, an unorthodox mistake from me there, just ultimately pushing very, very hard on old tyres. We touched a curb only slightly, and that was enough to spin us around and completely end the race for us there. So we win the championship by 41 points. Red Bull very, very strong this season. Particularly Sergio Perez. He was very, very consistent, but didn't get those big race wins that Max Verstappen did. Still did well to get third, though, in the standings, and Red Bull absolutely dominating the constructors as well. It's a shame that our teammates collectively were a bit rubbish this season. Not perhaps qualifying as well as us at times, or when they were in a good position, they made a blunder in terms of strategy, or when they were down the order, they couldn't overtake cars. It was just a bit of a nightmare for both Rosberg and Senna. A lot of DNFs for Rosberg, a few DNFs there for Senna as well. But yeah, not good enough when you're in like the best car, especially for Senna at the back end of the season, which we had. Rosberg had a worse package to deal with at the start of the season. But yeah, there we go. We won the championship with a race to go. I think that's, yeah, close to 10 wins for us, which is pretty darn good. That just illustrates the turnaround from the start of the season to the end of the season. Verstappen dominating and then failing to get anywhere near wins. Only a couple of podiums in the second half of the season. And then for us, the majority of the races, the results for us were wins. So crazy, crazy stuff. We're heading into Season 4 now with a massive regulation change looming over our heads. I think we've done pretty well to recover a lot of upgrades, but I just don't know where the AI stand and how many upgrades they've managed to save heading into next season. They haven't done many upgrades themselves for a long time, so maybe they have the means to save everything. I just don't know. So guys, thank you so much for joining me on this journey through the career mode experience. We have finally won a championship, which I wasn't sure we were going to do halfway through this season. I thought this would finally be the game where a championship might not be a possibility, but we absolutely turned it around. Thank you guys so much for watching. Season 4 is going to be very, very interesting, and it's probably going to be the last season we have on this game. So let's make sure we have a package that is capable of winning the Constructors.
Fuck yes, thank you. Deep down I knew this was going to come, so thanks for having my back.